Coming up, we will have more details about a murder investigation in Whitley County, including an interview with the suspects. Plus, lawmakers in West Virginia are debating legislation that would increase how old you have to be to smoke, and how leaders are trying to address an ongoing water problem that is preventing them from using a brand new school in Floyd County.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 5:31 on Wednesday, February the 13th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for watching Mountain News This Morning. It is the day before Valentine's Day, so if you're getting ready to head out and go and get some flowers or some candy for your loved ones for tomorrow, you're going to need a jacket. Not a rain jacket, but a warm jacket, Brandon, because we are back to Old Man Winter.
That's right. It's Valentine's Day Eve.
Ooh.
There you go. There you go. So this morning, it is a little bit on the chilly side, but it's dry. So that's some good news. Let's take a look at the cameras. McKee first, back online this morning, or at least back pointed in the right direction, overlooking the city there. And you can see that flag blowing and the camera kind of blowing as well. Winds are still pretty stout this morning, so just kind of keep that in mind as you go through the daytime hours. Over Whitesburg this morning, things pretty quiet. Even the roads have dried out since the overnight. The wind helping with that. Temperatures across the region in the 30s, 36 in Jacksboro, one of the warmer spots there this morning, and about 30 there in Wise, one of the cooler spots. Almanac for today, 40 for a high, maybe a couple of degrees warmer in spots. The average high for this time of the year, 47, record of 72 back in 1990. Coffee meter, a little extra this morning because we're closer to freezing in some locations, but otherwise not a bad day with lots of sunshine. I'll have the rest of the forecast coming up here in a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brendan, we'll be back with you. Well, the death investigation we first told you about Monday is now being called a murder, and we want to warn you, some might find the details in this disturbing. On Tuesday morning, state police arrested these three men, Jordan Miracle, along with twins Jamie and James Muse. They are accused of killing Billy Lawson near the Kentucky-Tennessee border. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talked to the Muse brothers, who described Lawson's murder in graphic details.
Kentucky State Police say the murder of Billy Lawson started as a robbery at Lawson's game room.
At the end of the night, I was sitting there playing the machine and I heard, "Oh God, no, quit." And I looked back and Billy was jumping up out of his recliner.
Jamie Muse is talking from behind bars, one of three men charged with Lawson's murder.
And Jordan was stabbing him over and over. He was jabbing him right in the neck.
Jordan Miracle is the person Muse is talking about, the second man connected to the crime.
And told me if I said a word, he would kill me too.
The third, Jamie's twin brother, James. The brothers claim he never saw the murder. His alibi, you might ask? They claim James was outside fixing his car that had an oil leak.
If it was a robbery, then that was his robbery. I wasn't any part of it. He never shared any details of anything with me.
The car is how police say they caught the trio. Investigators say it broke down and was towed away.
Last time I seen Billy Lawson, he was alive.
Later, they found the car, and inside, state troopers say they noticed blood and a knife. James Muse apologized to Lawson's family.
And I want to apologize to the Lawson family. I'm sorry for their loss. He was a really good friend.
As the brothers hope to clear their name. In Whitley County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, we wanted to talk with Jordan Miracle to get his side of the story, but he declined to talk to us. All three men face robbery, tampering with physical evidence, and murder charges. Well, new information this morning in the case of a Laurel County deputy now off the job for not making an arrest. The sheriff's office confirms Deputy John Wright resigned from his position. They say he was called to investigate a public intoxication complaint, but instead of arresting the suspect, he gave the man a ride home. That man, 52-year-old Michael Kissel, later went back to get his car and was involved in a crash. Wright had only been with the sheriff's department for 4 months. Well, some black leaders in Virginia are ready to give embattled Governor Ralph Northam a second chance. During a press conference outside the state capitol Tuesday, they said he deserves a chance to redeem himself.
He's been punished every day that this happened on national television. He's been punished when his foes and colleagues and political allies has asked for him to step down.
Our state is divided, our people are divided, and we are looking at a healing moment here.
Now, the leaders also appealed to state lawmakers who have urged Northam to resign to reconsider. The Democratic governor has been under fire since a racist photo in his 1984 medical school yearbook page shows a man in blackface and another in a Ku Klux Klan hood. Two other state Democratic leaders are embroiled in scandals of their own. Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax is accused of sexual assault by two women, and Attorney General Mark Herring has admitted to wearing blackface himself. Now, a bipartisan deal to avoid another government shutdown is getting the thumbs up from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Yesterday, the Kentucky Republican told reporters that he thinks the deal is, quote, a good step in the right direction.
That he will find this agreement acceptable and then he signs the bill.
Now, the president said he was not happy with the agreement, but he also said he does not expect another shutdown. Congress has until Friday to pass a bill to fund the government, and President Trump must sign it to avoid another shutdown. Well, a new report there is a massive backlog with the IRS following the 5-week government shutdown. That is according to an internal report from the National Taxpayer Advocate, an independent organization within the IRS. The report states most taxpayers who called the IRS to make payment arrangements wait an average of 93 minutes. That's an hour and a half. Even after the shutdown ended, more than 93% of callers were not even able to speak to a live agent. Well, later today, a House committee will hear a bill that would legalize sports betting, online poker, and fantasy sports. The bill sponsor says it would make a small dent in solving Kentucky's $43 billion pension crisis. Money from sports betting would also be split between regulation and addiction services. Senate Majority Floor Leader Damon Thayer says the bill would also give a boost to the horse industry.
Bringing sports wagering to Kentucky would be important to help our existing racetracks, but also raise money to put towards our pension funding.
Now, if passed, sports betting would be regulated by the Horse Racing Commission. Kentucky Lottery would oversee online poker, and the Public Protection Cabinet would regulate fantasy sports. Now, in other legislative news, West Virginia lawmakers are looking at having the legal age to purchase tobacco raised from 18 to 21. Proponents for the bill say that smoking and vaping has become an epidemic for today's youth and that tobacco products are the leading cause of preventable death in America. The bill passed the Health Committee yesterday. It now goes to the Judiciary Committee. Well, hundreds of students, along with educators, officials with the Kentucky Valley Education Co-op, and lawmakers gathered in the Capitol building Tuesday to showcase all accomplishments by students here in Eastern Kentucky. But officials also made a call to action to help revitalize these schools that, despite shortcomings, have students going above and beyond. WYMT's Connor James has more from Frankfort.
Educators say they hear the stereotypes a lot.
We want to change the narrative of what we're known for.
Robbie Fletcher, Lawrence County Superintendent, says changing that narrative is what Tuesday was all about. The halls of the second floor of the Capitol building were filled with students from across Eastern Kentucky.
We want people to see the innovation that's going on in our school districts.
Innovation from students like Caleb Ashley with the group he works with in Harlan County.
We're creating a tiny home subdivision for homeless students and drug rehabilitation graduates to provide transitional housing.
Or others like this group of middle schoolers in Floyd County who came up with the forget-me-not car seat.
And basically we made this project to save children trapped in hot cars. It's whenever the temperature gets above 85 degrees or below 55 degrees, then it will sound a siren which will alert people nearby to the car.
Innovations and the passions of students like Nathaniel Mims, who works with his school's broadcasting program daily.
We try to get as much student involvement as we possibly can to try to help people break out of their shell before they move on to college.
Educators and lawmakers joined in the center of the Capitol to talk about how they would continue to keep working for better schools.
We have to overcome some greater obstacles than what you're going to find in other parts of the state,
so that these students will continue to have bright futures. In Frankfort, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, out of some of the obstacles superintendents say they see, one of the big ones is getting jobs filled in Eastern Kentucky. One superintendent made the comment that there are close to 50 job openings in the region with no one to fill them. Now, when the new Floyd County School superintendent took office last May, he says one of the first issues he learned about was a water pressure problem preventing a new school from opening in Martin. About 4 years ago, Congressman Hal Rogers announced nearly $15 million for the town of Martin's redevelopment project, with close to $13 million of the federal funds designated for the new Renaissance Learning Center. But because there is not enough water pressure to the school, students had to move to the old Allen Central High School instead.
The building was completed by September, but at that point, I think there was a realization made that the water pressure wouldn't support the anti-fire suppressant system.
Now, the superintendent says the Army Corps of Engineers is working to solve the problem, but at this point, there is no timetable for how long it could be before students can attend classes there.
1 year after Parkland advocates keep up their fight on Capitol Hill, I'm Nicole Killian with their message to lawmakers on this solemn anniversary.
Grab the jacket on the way out the door this morning, but you can leave the rain gear behind. I'll have your extended forecast in a few minutes.